So, so God said the California drought ended when Obama left office, and I was wondering, if now that we have God talking and an awareness of God, they used to do fasting, like make the whole city fast and stuff like that to influence God and stuff like that. I guess that works. When you start hearing this stuff, it must have worked, right? It must have done something, right? But anyway, when God sees that you're humble and penitent and so forth, it changes his heart and stuff. But anyway, so I was like, hey, God, what if California made movies for you? And I asked God if he wanted any movies made, right? And he said he wants to remake a Twister. And I don't know if that got me thinking. Maybe God's sensitive. He wants to be like a character, At least that's nobody pays attention to God. Poor God, like Jesus gets all the attention. Like you don't really hear like God like as a character. He wants attention, right? He wants to be the hero. Like put God in the movies and stuff, right? So like, hey, there's God. What's he doing in this movie? Like there's a song "Flight of Icarus" with Iron Maiden. And God gave I don't know if he gave an endorsement, but it's sad. It's like the only rock song that says "God my Father." Like where do you hear the word "God my Father"? Right, in all of literature, in all of modern culture, right? God the Father. Right? Is he in anything? No, there's like a rock song with God the Father, "Flight of Icarus" by Iron Maiden. God's favorite song is "Morning Is Broken." At least sometimes I wonder about taking these with a grain of salt, but anyway, it's pretty reasonable. But anyway, so I got a list of favorites and what do you call it, a manifesto that if you download Temple OS in the Adam God directory, you'll come across it, right? It's my manifesto with a bunch of things. God said I had some weeds in my wheat, like apparently not all my. Apparently I got some errors, but anyway, whatever. Like I said, this is God's favorite, and this is God's favorite, and this is so-and-so. Apparently I got some weeds in there. That makes a big difference if you got some errors. Fuck. I'm not exactly sure how you fix these things. So like you might think you ask God the same question a couple of times and he confirms it. That's kind of not how God works. Like you're gonna get different answers. It's kind of crazy, It's just, it's not very satisfying. It's like, well, a scientist would ask a couple times. Well, that's kind of not how God works. It's like, what is it, the first time? Well, closer, yeah. Can you always trust it? I don't know. I don't really know. It's kind of hard to, you'll see. God's kind of frustrating, right? Because it's like, you'll get an answer. It's like, well, what does that mean? It's either this or the opposite, right? That's pretty frequent. You'll get, well, it either means this or the opposite. And it's kind of a little bit unsatisfying, right? You get used to it. So that's hilarious. Well, it's either this or the opposite. I can't quite tell. And you just kind of got to go with your intuition or something, So like, yeah, I asked God his favorite color. He said like iceberg blue, right? Another time he said yellow or gold. Another time he said Jude. I was like, maybe that's like jade blue. So like I came up with the idea that like jade blue, iceberg blue, that's his favorite color. And as a matter of fact, in Temple OS, I use cyan. That's like closest thing. So like, anyway, it sounds reasonable. Sky's blue. It's a very beautiful color. Iceberg blue, I really like that. That's so cool. You can get a picture of iceberg blue. The best color ever. So I think I'm gonna get another coffee. So hey, send money to PayPal. Pay for Terry's coffee and stuff, because this is like best entertainment on the planet. I need some PayPal donations. Like, why don't we get some big bucks? Like, just like get Terry in a house, Then like I could be writing hymns. Like I wrote. Did you see my hymns on my? You can download my hymns. Terry should be doing. I got 120 hymns. I need to be in a house and like making like 1,000 hymns. It'd be like Solomon, right? So like put some PayPal money in there. Like, come on, it's the best entertainment on the planet. Do your part. PayPal on my website. Because like right now I'm like bummed out about it. Like, oh shit, man, paying for another coffee, But anyway, I'm gonna do it. Fuck it. You got like $500, or no, not anymore, $400. But anyway, so like, I deserve it, Like, so like, You know, you get too much money, then you start getting cursed, right? Because like good and bad balances, like Catholic priests take a vow of poverty, and like you got monks doing that poverty shit. It's like, why do they do that psycho stuff? Well, apparently you get more spiritual. I start getting too rich, God stops answering, that kind of thing, you know. So like the more poor you are, it's kind of like you get more miracles and stuff, right? You look at Exodus, right? They got those crazy. Hey, dude, I got like the cloud miracle once, like down in Goodyear, right? It's like, holy fuck! Like I was like really Exodus, like being homeless is like pretty psycho, you know. And like I lay back and I'm like running from the cop, trying to find a place to sleep and shit out at Estrella Park. Lay back, I look up at the sky, and this clouds start making the shapes and stuff. It was bonkers, man. I'm big league, right? I'm like big league prophet. I got the clouds doing shit, you know. That was cool. I could describe some weird shit, you know, like crazy. It looked like I don't know, famine horror victims and shit like that, and like I don't know. What does that mean? Who knows? But you can't. It's not really like it works that way. Like another thing is. You start doing random passages, you'll get a lot of what looks like prophecy, but like that's kind of it's not quite how it works, right? How do I put this? It sounds, oh no, it's prophetic. It's kind of, you're picking from the Bible, so like you get what you pick from, you know. It's like a Bible's full of prophecy, right? God communicates, but like he's got really no choice because he's like picking passages, right? So these prophecies come up. It's kind of not how it works, but. Here's the deal. You'll get like a passage and it clearly talks, and maybe it's got some scary prophecy. In my general, the prophecies never come true like that. I don't know how to put it, but they just don't. But like on the other hand, the thing will clearly talk, you know, scare the shit out of you. But like you just got to get used to that, you know. So like it's like, oh my God, it's kind of, the prophecies don't come true. Like at least done that way. I think what you have to do is like highs and lows balance. So maybe you get one good decade, one bad decade. You know, you got that Joseph, the dream teller, right? He says there's 7 fat cows, 7 thin cows, right? So there were 7 years of surplus, 7 years of famine. So like you can look at justice over the centuries, you know, like the good and bad balancing. You look at the no pain, no gain. You look at the 60s, they had that awesome music and stuff. Like when you got turmoil and suffering and stuff, that's usually when you get the most blessings and stuff. So like getting the good and bad balance and stuff, you know, and like no pain, no gain. So like the only reason Nazi Germany lost is the Russian winter. They had the coldest winter on record. That's the only reason they lost. Like 70% of the Germans went against Russia, 30% went against the Allies, or well, the Allies, whatever. Anyway, so the West. So like, if you look at it, it's pretty crazy. The one and only reason they lost is they froze to death in the coldest winter on record. Now that is clearly the hand of God, like squashing them, right? God literally squashed the Germans, right? Because like, no, you don't get, nobody's the bad guy. Let's put it that way. Here's the deal. Each ethnicity is a creation of God, kind of like a species, right? And the species needs health, and you got to kill the vile people, right? So like God talks about pigeons and shit like that, and vermin, pigeons and vermin. So like you know, half the Jews are vile, you got to kill them. Half the Germans are vile, you got to kill them. The king's got to balance the birth and death, right? So you know, fuck it, it's just how it works, you know. I'm not real sure I could really have the balls to do this. I think what I need is like God said if I'm king, I have to kill the vile people. This would like. There's a king, and it said he spent 6 years in tears or something. Yeah, it would be pretty fucked up to be the king doing this shit. I need some crazy, I don't know if I can, evil Nazi, my sidekick. Hey, go, can you do it, man? I ain't fucking doing it. It's gonna break my heart. And some crazy fucking Nazis, like real hardcore. Okay, well, fuck it. I'm supposed to kill the bad people. So like, anyway, you know, like the soldiers, like in the military, they have to kill, you know. I don't know. I'm not real thrilled about that, but like, I guess I could do it. But it's probably gonna break my. Could you imagine literally doing it? That's fucking psycho, you know, literally killing people and shit. Oh my God. So like, I don't know if I could actually do it. But he said, if I make you king, you have to promise to kill the vile people. So like, you got Jesus Christ Superstar, right? You have a duty to keep the peace, so crucify him. You'll be demoted. You'll be deported. Crucify King Terry. The only reason you can riot is like, hey, you're not killing the vile people. You have a duty to kill the vile, crucify him. You'll be demoted. What? So like the other reason the king can be, if he's not doing his duty, it's like, you're supposed to kill the vile people. Like, what do you mean? Like, that means we got too many people today, right? Because that means we got some vile people. So that's some serious shit, right? So like, you get the water crisis, right? And like, so you're never going to solve the water crisis. You got to like, literally, we got to reduce population. It's kind of fucked, right? Ouch. That's nasty, isn't it? You got to come up with ways that are like tolerable and shit. It's like, oh no, like riots. Like, hey, you're really not reducing population much. Like, oh fuck. And so like, anyway, so each individual ethnicity is like a creation of God, kind of like a species, you know. So like, oh shit, what the fuck? So like, the way I look at it is each ethnicity is like a God put evolutionary effort into making them distinct. Like, he's Mr. Creative, right? Mr. God's at work mixing in genes and controlling the gene pools and stuff. So like, you're not really supposed to mix them and stuff. And like, so like, but basically, you're in charge of the vineyard. You gotta like, you know, kill the vile people. And like, you know, maybe the king of Saudi Arabia says, hey, let's get some white sunshine, blinding power of American sunshine, get some white sperm over into our population with these soldiers or some shit. You know, like, if you're king, maybe you got to do shit like that, right? Ugly Muslims and shit. You watch that movie Three Kings, it's a really ugly Muslim woman, you know. So like, it's pretty obvious, right? So anyway, so that's what the king's got to do. Maintain the gene pool or some shit. God said they need war to kill resource pigs in the gene pool. It's not real clear. God warned me, don't change his words, you know. So like sometimes I'm tempted to like explain it, but like I don't know. He said resource pigs. You need war to kill resource pigs. So like if you're doing the species right, then you got no birth control. You balance birth and death. You got war, famine, pestilence. You know, what would famine do to the gene pool? You know, I was just thinking about that, trying to imagine like, just say you got a city and like each person. Let's say you got a city. You got like local farmers around there. Like there's famine. It's like some farmers got extra food and they're like, well, I'm the good farmer. I managed to feed my family, right? You're like the lazy farmer. You starve and like. So like God said he causes rain on one city and not another. Literally, he controls the weather. If you knew he does antiparticles and shit, it's psycho, you know. That's like bonkers. Oh, by the way, on climate, God was talking about groundwater in the climate model. He laughed at our climate models, but one of the things he said was groundwater. I don't know what these things. Don't change his words, man. So like, there's this really So like in terms of like goals in life, okay, so you gotta like give Terry some money so he can like make these offerings to God and shit, like King Solomon, right? King Solomon had 700 wives. Terry's being a little negligent or something. I don't really know. You get like social instability, you get polygamy and stuff. But anyway, that's why Jesus got crucified, he's banging women, and you got like what's his name, Rasputin, the Mad Monk. And he's like banging women and shit. You get crucified, it pisses people off, you know, that shit. There's like pretty much, I got half a woman. Like God said I got to share Diana. I ain't gonna get crucified. I didn't even get one wife, I get like half a wife. Not really Mr. Virulent either, man. Pretty fucked up. Cuckold. That's pretty fucked up. Like humility balances with exaltation. Like the Templars, 2 knights on 1 horse. Pretty fucked up. But like maybe you're a little guy, man. You got no choice but to like. They talk about one guy plowing the field, one guy planting the field. It's like, okay, well, you keep her fucking horny. Well, anyway, so what was I doing? So like, oh, this is the best thing. Ozymandias is this little animation, and it talks about 2 stone pillars stand in the desert. It's about some Egyptian or I don't know what civilization that now it's just a bunch of desert, and it says, "I'm the King of Kings," and so there's been climate change forever. Oh, not forever. Basically, there's there's like you look at some of these places that had climate change, you know, so on the climate thing is like it's normal, it's not without precedent, you know, and I really want to, I'm gonna stop for a second and run that video just because I like it. Ozymandias it's got this really cool computer animation. Like if I had a goal in life to make something of that high quality, you know, that's like epic, you know. Like Solomon wrote a bunch of proverbs. Solomon wrote 1,005 hymns. Like in terms of what I want to do out of life, man. Like let's see if I can do some like wisdom and proverbs and shit. That Ozymandias, that's the best, you know. That's like high art or some shit. I love that shit. If you could do that, then if that was the one thing you made in your life, that'd be cool, you know. But anyway, that Ozymandias animation and shit. So like, yeah, there you go. What do you want to do in the Temple OS, right? Do like that Ozymandias animation, except it doesn't really have the pretty graphics. You gotta. It's kind of like there's this own kind of there's this thing called pixel art, right? And they got these. They got like little twinkling spots and like little tiny animations and stuff. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. I'm not real sure what gets God's. You want to offer like gold and not silver. You want to, but I'm kind of real sloppy. I do these Moses comics, but I've never really taken the time to do real careful art and stuff. I'm not real clear on what the payoff is on art. You know, like the first thing you learn about art is it's toil. Oh my God, is it toil? So like I don't really know if you get equal payment, right? I just prefer to like write a sentence. I do Moses comics. Let me see some other ones. I like here's a Moses comic, right? This is a Moses comic. Hey God, this is Moses, right? He's like, hey God, where's the promised land? And like God says, for the 100th time, it's right over that mountain. Like, I should stop it right there because if you know the story, right? It's there were people over there and they had to go conquer them, right? So Moses is like, fuck that, we're going to wander in the desert. We're not going over there to conquer them. And like, the only way to get to the promised land, you got to go kill those people and take the promised land. Like, Moses, for the 100th time, it's right over that mountain. And Moses is like, oh, fuck it, just running around in the desert. We ain't fucking going over there conquering there. So like, that's like a Moses comic. So like, you want gold and not silver. Because you get, definitely, like, if you can do like I do a lot of shitty ones sometimes. I get kind of a half-assed response, but sometimes I'm lazy. I'm like, I'll just take half-assed responses. So anyway, so